everyone, I'm Shimmer and welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Cyrodiil. Now before I begin, I want to throw out there that this is not a how to become elite in PvP type video. This is an absolute beginner's guide to Cyrodiil as it is a little more complicated and different than PvP and other games. This will cover what Cyrodiil is, how it works, the various mechanics at play in the zone, sieging, and more. There will be time links in the About section below, so if you want to skip over some parts, you can. But without further ado, let's get to it. Cyrodiil is the large zone in the center of the Tamriel map. There are many reasons to visit Cyrodiil, ranging from sky shard hunting to achievement hunting, some PvE questing, but most players will be coming here to participate in Alliance Warfare, which is large-scale Alliance versus Alliance PvP battles. Players of the same alliance will not be fighting each other here, but you will be fighting players in other alliances to fight for control of keeps, the Elder Scrolls, and crown an emperor for your alliance. As you participate in PvP in the zone, you will be earning a currency called Alliance Points, which is not only just a currency, but your PvP XP. You can use Alliance Points to purchase gear, weaponry, repair kits, and other goodies. Earning Alliance Points will contribute to and increase your Alliance War rank and your position on the leaderboard. As you increase your Alliance rank, you will unlock dies and be able to purchase different achievement furnishings. You will also unlock 2 new skill lines, Alliance War Support and Alliance War Assault. There are some useful skills in here for not just use in PvP, but also PvE, such as Barrier, Warhorn, and Rapid Maneuvers. Now you simply can't just port directly into Cyrodiil. You will first have to be player level 10. You will then receive an in-game mail telling you that your alliance needs you. To enter, you must first select a campaign and enter it via the Alliance War window. You can access this window by pressing L on the PC. The initial window that opens will show you your current Alliance War rank, how your home campaign is doing, and on the left menu under Bonuses, you can see bonuses for your current home campaign. As your alliance takes and controls keeps, Elder Scrolls, and crowns an emperor, you will be receiving various buffs for controlling these, giving you bonuses to alliance points earned, weapon and spell crit, physical and spell resistance, weapon and spell damage, and, if your alliance crowns an emperor, bonus health. Under the emperor window, you can see the current emperor, if there is one, and the leaderboard for your alliance. Getting Emperor is hard work and requires you to PvP almost all the time in order to get enough AP to be in the running. I will talk a little bit more about becoming Emperor later in the guide. First, let's talk about campaigns. Campaigns are basically different instances of Cyrodiil, and which one you choose will depend on a few things: your level, what you actually plan on doing in Cyrodiil, or whether or not you have friends or guildmates there. You will be able to choose a 30-day or 7-day campaign. This will be the duration of the campaign from start to finish. Every time a campaign ends, you will be mailed some rewards for participation, and if you are at the top of your campaign leaderboards, you will get even better rewards. The 30-day campaigns have better rewards, but you must wait longer and work harder to receive them. Your first option is the 30-day standard server Vivek. This is a champion point enabled instance and is the most popular option for people wanting to go to Cyrodiil. You can see on the right bars indicating how full it is for each alliance. When it is prime time, you may see a lock here. If it is population locked, you may have to wait in a queue to get in. Your second option is the 30-day non-champion point instance Cyrodiil. This is another 30-day campaign but has champion points disabled. That doesn't mean you won't earn champion points while in this campaign. It just means that any points you have spent in champion points will not work in here, and allows for players to be on more even footing if they haven't yet earned a lot of CP. The third option is a campaign called Kine that is for players under level 50. The last option is a 7-day campaign called Shore. This is the second most popular instance. You will have the option to choose one home and one guest campaign, and the difference between home and guest is pretty simple. While in Cyrodiil, you will be earning AP, and in order to receive end-of-campaign rewards or try for Emperor, you must be playing in a home campaign. You will not advance on the leaderboard or receive end-of-campaign rewards for a guest campaign. You will still gain and receive AP, you just won't be adding to or contributing that AP to a leaderboard score. Should you change your home campaign, you will need to wait 12 hours before changing it again. If you change your home campaign too often, it could end up costing you up to 150,000 AP just to set a new home campaign. So choose wisely. So again, which one you choose will depend on a few things. If you're a newer player and under level 50, obviously your choice should be the under 50 campaign. Unless you have friends or guildmates in a current campaign, check with them and see which one they're in. If you're over 50, Cyrodiil is very laggy. If you plan on PvPing and advancing on the leaderboards and have a lower end PC or bad internet, I would suggest doing the 7-day campaign Shore, as it is rarely population locked and doesn't have as many players as the 30-day standard Vivek. If you're just going to run around doing Sky Shards or PvE Quest, I recommend doing the non-champion or 7-day standard. Choose one for your home campaign. You don't need to choose a guest campaign until the need arises. Once you choose your campaign, simply right-click and select Enter Campaign. You will receive a notification once your campaign is ready for you, and you will be ported directly into the zone. If this is your first time in the zone, do the tutorial quest. You will have the option to skip it if you speak to this lady here. Do not do that. The reason I say that is when you complete the tutorial, which is really fast and barely takes any time at all to complete, it will give you enough AP to level you to level 3 and your Alliance War skill line, and you can purchase a pretty handy skill called Rapid Maneuver. This skill upon use will increase your movement and mounted speed by 30%, and if you're a newer player that hasn't spent many points in your mount speed yet, this will help you feel not as slow. Doing the quest will also familiarize you with how to operate siege weaponry and how to use repair kits. There are various different siege weapons that you can use. Trebuchets are large and hard-hitting, but a little slow to fire, but these will have the longest range. Catapults are medium-sized and have a larger damage radius than the ballista and are faster to reload than the trebuchet. Ballista are a little smaller and have faster firing, but do less damage than trebuchets. A ram can be placed in front of a door, and to use a ram, you will need at least 3 players to stand next to it for it to work. This will take down doors the fastest, but leaves you vulnerable to enemy siege. Oil pots can be used on the roofs of keeps to pour down on the enemies below. To use siege, you simply add them to your quick slot and place them. You can only have 20 siege up at any time during a keep battle, so choose wisely. To pack up a siege you have placed, you must be in the siege and ready to fire. Instead of firing, you will press X to pack it up. Newer players can always be helpful in big battles by operating siege. Also, if your team is smaller, you can put down 3 trebuchet, fire 1, move to the second, fire to the second, move to the third, and by the time you're done firing the third, the first one will be ready to fire again. Regardless of how many siege you put down, after each shot you want to hit escape and be out of the siege while it is on cooldown. That way, if you are attacked, you can try to avoid death. Siege will take damage, so being shot at will eventually destroy it. Also, enemies can destroy it by coming up to it and pressing E. You can repair them with Siege Repair Kit, and you use repair kits the same way by quick slotting and pressing it to use. You can also purchase forward base camps, which allow your alliance to spawn near where you are fighting, so they don't have to run back quite so far. These cost AP and are expensive, so let others buy these until you have some AP saved up to spend. You must die within the circle to spawn in it, and can only spawn in it once every 5 minutes. Enemies can destroy it if they find it, and it's very hard to hide or conceal these as they are so large. Now, as I said before, while on Cyrodiil, you will be earning Alliance points, AP, which is also a currency. When purchasing Siege, be aware you can purchase Siege for both gold and Alliance points. So if you're new to Cyrodiil, avoid using Alliance points off the bat to purchase these things, as you may find later you want to buy something with AP. Once you do the intro quest, you will have access to the repeatable quests, which ask you to do things like capture keeps, kill enemy players, capture resources, and things like that. Now let's take a look at the map and what some of those things are. Opening the map, you will see that each alliance has 2 gate bases. For Daggerfall Covenant, that is Northern and Southern High Rock. For Ebonheart Pact, that will be Northern and Southern Morrowind Gate. And for Aldemary Dominion, that will be Western and Eastern Elsewhere Gate. Each faction will have 2 way shrines, one at each of their gate bases. To leave Cyrodiil, you will have to come back here and use one of these 2 way shrines to exit the zone. You cannot way shrine out from the middle of Cyrodiil. You must come back and physically use one of these way shrines to exit Cyrodiil. Each alliance will have 2 Elder Scroll temples. These temples will hold your alliance's Elder Scrolls, which can be stolen by enemy players. They are protected by gates, and I will explain more about how to steal enemy scrolls later. In order to travel around Cyrodiil, you will be using the Transitus System. How far you can travel into the zone will depend on how many keeps and outposts your alliance owns. If you see on my map here, the blue line will show you where I can travel to. In order to travel farther into the zone, you must take those keeps and connect them to the Transitus System. If you lose one of these keeps, you will lose the ability to travel farther in. If you die in Cyrodiil, you will be able to resurrect at the closest owned keep or outpost or Alliance Forward Base Camp if there's one up near you. Other players can resurrect you with a soul stone, but if your whole group got wiped deep in enemy territory, you're likely going to have to hoof it back. If you die to fall damage or NPCs, however, you will be able to resurrect where you're at. A quick tip to getting out of Cyrodiil fast is to die, and choose your gate base as your resurrect point. We also need to talk about the water in Cyrodiil. Do not, under any circumstances, go for a swim here. Every body of water in Cyrodiil is infested with slaughterfish and you will die. Don't say I didn't warn you. Looking at the map, you will see these castle icons. These are keeps. Keeps can be controlled by any faction and you will receive buffs for every one that your alliance controls. Outside of each keep, you will see 3 resources. A log for the lumber mill, a wheat symbol for the farm, and a mining symbol for the mine. Owning the lumber mill will fortify that keep's doors. Owning the farm will fortify that keep's NPCs, and owning the mine will fortify that keep's walls. To take a keep, you must first either destroy a wall or take down the front door. In order to make the door weaker before taking, you can go and take the lumber mill first, or if attacking a wall, you can go and take the mine first to make the walls weaker. If you take all 3 resources outside of a keep before attacking it, you will cut off that base from the Transitus System, and the enemy will no longer be able to travel to that keep to provide defense. When you attack a resource, it will show up on the map with a starburst icon around it, alerting the enemies to the attack. So sometimes large groups will not take a resource first just to get a jump on the enemy. You want to make sure the keep gets flagged as being under siege as quickly as possible so the enemies cannot spawn in there. If you're just fighting outside the keep, they can kill you and you will have to run a long way back, but if you kill them, all they have to do is spawn in there and come back out the front door. To keep this from happening, you want the keep to be flagged as under siege with that starburst icon to prevent them from spawning there. To do this, you must place siege and be firing at the door or wall for a few minutes for that to happen. Once you see that starburst symbol on the enemy keep, the enemy will no longer be able to spawn in there upon death or travel there via Transitus. Keeping the keep under siege will prevent them from both spawning in the keep and traveling to it. Once inside the front door or wall, you will then have to take the inner keep by breaking into the front door or side door. There will be more NPCs in there and many times players trying to defend their keep. Whether you are playing defense or offense, you will earn AP. If they successfully thwart your siege, they will get AP for defense, and if we successfully take the keep, we will receive AP for taking it. Once inside the inner door, you will then have to take 2 flags by standing on them. Once you turn those flags, the keep will flip to your alliance and you will earn those alliance points. But it's not over yet. In order to keep the enemies from coming in right behind you and taking it back, you must now go and repair the damage you did to get in there in the first place. The Siege Quartermaster will sell those repair items, and again, hit Q while in your inventory to quick slot them. Once slotted, you will use them the wood on the doors and the stone on the walls. Each time you repair, you will get some AP. Also, after a keep is taken, you can go talk to the quartermaster and claim ownership of the keep for your guild. If you are in a trading guild, this will allow you to shop from that guild store while in Cyrodiil. This symbol here is an outpost, and outposts are a little bit different in that they do not have resources outside of them and no outer wall protecting them. To take an outpost, all you have to do is break down either the front door or side door and take the flab to flip it. Repair the damage and you're done. The next thing you will see are Milegates and bridges. These are neutral structures that can be destroyed and repaired by any faction. These are areas of the map that are impassable if attacked and left in ruin. In order to pass through, they will first need to be repaired. Remember here, if a bridge is destroyed, you cannot swim across. I promise you, the slaughterfishes will get you. In order to crown an emperor, your faction must take all 6 inner keeps surrounding the center of Cyrodiil: Alessia, Robeck, Ash, Aliswell, Chalman, and Blue Road Keep. Then, the person who's at the top of the leaderboard for your campaign will be crowned Emperor. When that happens, everyone in your alliance will receive a nice health buff. The person who becomes Emperor will receive a new passive skill line only given to players who are actively Emperor, a title, and a costume. If they become Emperor and are deposed, they will lose the passives, and the title will change from Emperor to Former Emperor. They will keep the costume. In order to take an enemy Elder Scroll, you must first gain control of the keep in front of the gate the scroll you are going after is behind. Once you take that keep, the gate will open. It is important to note that in order to steal an enemy's Elder Scroll, your alliance's Elder Scrolls must be in their home bases. If your scrolls have been stolen, you must first steal your scrolls back and replace them in their home bases before you can go steal an enemy's scroll. Opening these enemy gates is also the only way to get 4 sky shards in the zone that are locked behind these enemy gates. This will take some time to get these 4 sky shards, so have some patience and persistence. Once you have the enemy scroll, you then have to carry it all the way back to your territory and place it in a keep that your alliance owns. This is a very long trip and this map is huge. You will need to be guarded and cannot stealth or mount while carrying the Elder Scroll. I should also mention that it is unfortunate, but you do not get an achievement for taking and stealing an Elder Scroll. You may also see some lingo in chat that may seem like a different language to you, and I'll let you in on a few of those now. FWD means forward door, so for example, you may see someone say Ash FWD 20%. That means the Fort Ash forward door is at 20% and should be open very soon. FC means forward camp, Bleak means Bleakers, Nickel means Nickel Outpost, Aliz means Aliswell, BRK will mean Blue Road Keep, and as you start to learn some of the names of the keeps and outposts, you will begin to understand them a little better. Never be afraid to ask if you don't know. Going along with a big group for your first times is recommended. Sometimes they may require that you get on their Discord, sometimes not. Just remember to follow the crown on your compass and do what they do. You will also see a few towns. These are quest hubs for PvE in the zone, and to do quests, simply travel there, make sure your alliance owns it, and quest away. These towns will offer daily PvE quests that offer decent XP. There are also some dolmens in Cyrodiil. They will not be marked on your map like a POI, but you will see and hear them when they activate. They have the chance to drop some cold fire ballista and trebuchets, which will deal more damage than the siege merchant sells. You will see many sky shards throughout the zone, and some will be in delves. That's right, there are delves in Cyrodiil. Just remember when doing delves that there could be enemies lurking inside. The bosses in delves work a little differently than the bosses in the delves in the regular Tamriel. If you look at some of the achievements for Cyrodiil delves, you may see that a delve has 4 bosses to kill, but you only found 2 boss spawns inside. The bosses inside these delves aren't guaranteed to be the ones you need to kill to complete the delve achievement. You must keep killing these bosses in all the boss spawns until the bosses you need to kill for that achievement and completion spawn for you to kill. The boss spawn points are basically placeholder, meaning that any of the bosses on the achievement list could spawn in that location when it's time again for respawn. It's extremely annoying and very time consuming, but with some serious persistence, you can finish these achievements. The bosses are on a 10 to 15 minute cooldown. You do get a buff for killing a boss in a delve in Cyrodiil for AP game bonus for an hour. And that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and sub if you enjoyed, and click that bell icon to be notified when I have a new video go live. Y'all have a great day, and I will see you in Tamriel. Bye!